Good afternoon, everyone. This is Master Jose Torres coming to you live with the Martial Arts Experience. We're coming to you with episode 2 of our brand new season 4 of the Martial Arts Experience. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We have an amazing guest today. And this is not just a movie star. You know, this is a legend. This is actually one of the female martial arts icon legends. True fighter, true champion. Champion for the Latino community, and I'm really excited to have her on today. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to bring her on live so you guys can say hello, and that is our special guest, Cookie Melendez. How are you today, Elba? How's everything?
Hi, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. Happy New Year to you, your family, and everyone who's watching. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, I was excited about today, Cookies, because I want to dive into, you know, your career. There's so many questions that I have, and I've known you for a while, but there's so many questions I want to talk about. So let's start, you know, right away. What got you into the martial arts?
Wow, you know, that's a very good question, which people rarely ask, but interesting answer. When I was 14 years old, there used to be a youth center in the neighborhood, and I'm walking by, was there a storefront, and there's this guy in a white hakama. And the lights are low, and this is in the middle of the afternoon. So I must have been at the bodega buying stuff for mom, you know, but I'm walking by and I'm like, I caught this guy was beautiful in a white gi top, the hakama white. He had his candle. He was in meditation format. He had this lit candle in front of him, and the lights were off. And but you can see. So he's doing a punch over the flame. And suddenly with a woof, he blew that flame off. I'm like, ooh, I want to know that.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. It wasn't punching and kicking, nothing like that. I was impressed with what he did. And then, of course, I know that was his way of getting the teenagers in there, you know, but he got me. I was his top student.
Wow.
I learned how to do that. And of course, with the kicking and punching. So he was like my very first instructor.
And what was his name?
He rest in peace. And Ray Myers, a Canadian, was here for a while. Wow. He moved back to Canada. I kind of lost track, and I've been meaning to, Facebook, you know, look for him. But he passed away, unfortunately, I found out. And but you know, I always give credit. That was my very first. He was doing Japanese Goju. That was it.
Wow. That was your first system.
Yes.
Wow. And which where was this part of? This was in Brooklyn, Bronx?
Manhattan and the Spanish Harlem.
Wow.
Spanish Harlem, where I grew up.
Now, how difficult was that as a young Latina woman, you know, at that time, trying to get involved in martial arts? Because I can't think that was an everyday occurrence.
I was always athletic. You know, I love sports. I played volleyball, which was my number one sport in high school. MVP, of course. You know, we didn't have soccer or anything like that, but volleyball, I was terrible at basketball. Forget it. I was not good at shooting that basket if my life depended on it. But because I had that warrior spirit to begin with, I stayed in that game as I got to find a way. I realized I had a good eye-hand coordination, even though I was the short one on the team, on the basketball team. I was able to steal the ball from you and then pass it on to my teammate.
Yeah.
I was satisfied because I'm not a quitter. I realized, you know, I'm here for a reason. I'm gonna find out. That's me to this day.
Wow. So after you started with this gentleman, you said you then moved on. What was the next process or the next school that you got part of?
Oh my goodness, I was hungry for karate. Wasn't anybody back in those days, you know? And I mean, in the 60s, there was another fellow that taught Mudokwan, Korean, and he was in the neighborhood, and you know. And we found out, the kids found out he does karate. To us, it's karate. Right. And you know, he taught the kids in the neighborhood some stuff. And then you know, he moved on. And then from the Kitsuga system, Gerald Gaylord years later was teaching on the other side at a church on the other side where I live, was teaching Kitsugen, which is a mixture of Japanese and Goju at the time. I mean Shotokan and Goju. And I learned whatever I had to learn. I was already a yellow belt or something, so I had some basics down.
Right.
I breezed through the test that Sensei Gerald Gaylord, may he rest in peace, he passed away also. Right. And I obtained my first black belt through him.
Wow.
Yeah, I did all the forms and the fighting. I just loved it, and And when we had the black belt test, he told me, Cookie, you had the highest score on your test. I thought he was kidding. You know, come on.
Yeah.
Just one of the few girls amongst all these boys. And I said, no, Sensei, you're kidding me. He said, no, you had the highest score, even above the boys. That's how serious I was. Anyway, moved on. And from there, I moved downtown further. And I was already a black belt. But I like Shotokan because I had a taste for Shotokan. So I broke away from Katsuga and I said, I got a black belt. I met Mr. Hector Martinez that was downtown Manhattan. Street, and he had a Shotokan school. So since I moved down there, I walked around looking for a dojo. Again, like today's like Starbucks in every corner. Not then.
Right, not then, yeah.
I introduced myself and Sensei Martinez took a liking to me right away and, and welcomed me. And I learned judo. I learned Greco-Roman from him. Not too many people know that. Great, they did they did judo. They did Greco-Roman wrestling. That's tough. Wrestling is tough. But I wanted to learn it all. So, and then he did Shotokan. So I learned Shotokan stuff. Yeah. And judo. I did judo. Oh my God, I forgot. I gotta go. My first Shotokan instructor was Miyazaki. I gotta go back. I forgot. I used to be I'm sorry, I was 17 at that time. Jerome Mackey's was the place. It was very popular. Where they used to have martial arts, Van Cleef, Owen Watson, all those guys were the instructors then. I didn't know them, but I did judo with her name is Rusty. She was one of the Olympic team coaches back in the day. I forgot her last name. I think it's a Japanese last name, but Rusty. So I learned judo through her. I learned Shotokan to Master Miyazaki.
Oh wow.
Okay? Yeah, I was 17, so I forgot. That's how I got a taste of the Shotokan and I liked it. And he was short like me, right? Wow. So that's when then I got to the Kasugen and then everything went on and then Shotokan again. And I was going through my discovery phases. There you go.
Now, Cookie, when did you start fighting? When did you start doing the full contact like the kickboxing?
Oh my God. Full contact karate, which I was against that word because full contact karate is chuto, eye gouges, hit the throw and break the knee. No, but you were limited. But when it became kickboxing, that made more sense.
Right.
That came about 17, maybe my maybe mid-20s.
So I'm gonna put up this picture here.
Yes.
Of this young lady here fighting here. The young Cookie, and I think you look the same. You look great.
Thank you.
Where was that at? Because I noticed in the clip of that was against Cheryl Wheeler.
Yeah, man, she rests in peace. Such a sweet person. That took place in Chicago.
Wow.
In Chicago, yeah. What was happening during that era? It was Graciela Casillas, Cheryl Wheeler, myself, and Kathy Long was coming along the way. She was like the generation after that. I think I fought Graciela in 1981, then I saw Cheryl Wheeler in Chicago. Graciela took place here in New York, in Westchester County Center. But in 81 with Graciela Casillas. Cheryl Wheeler was in Chicago. She's 5'8".
Yeah, she's tall. She's
tall. And then in Korean style, she got me with a nice kick to my face. I'll never forget. And why? Because I wasn't blocking. And I told myself, oh shoot, I better get my hands up. I'm glad she didn't hurt me with it. It was a nice roundhouse kick, but learning lessons. So we did what we had to do. And my thing is, it wasn't about knocking people out. My thing at the time was, although I did knock somebody out in South Korea and in Colombia, which was a male in the. We'll talk about that. What's happened there.
Okay.
But over here, my goal was at the time to showcase that women can do this.
Right.
Because back in the days, women were not allowed to compete. Boxing didn't exist. Boxing, unheard of in the 70s, the 60s, 70s for women.
Right.
We used to go to Atlantic City, the Tropicana, to support all the guys from the gym that were kickboxers. Yeah. I was a kickboxer, but I couldn't fight. But I would support them. Then came the time where I saw a lot of guys were fighting terribly, and I spoke up about it. And I spoke with Joe Corley from PKA.
Wow.
Great guy. I said, Joe, I'm sorry, I can fight better than half those guys up there. And then, he said, but you're so pretty. I said, what'd you say? I'm pretty, but, I live from New York. I better be pretty and tough, right? That was my attitude.
Yeah.
But he allowed me to, I said, women can do this. You got to give us a chance. And he did. He did.
So he was
and it did. And the people were loved it, and so we opened up people's eyes and realized, women can do this, and so this is Tropicana, first female to step foot. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. I'm just giving her story.
Hey, I'm going to share a story with you. So Gracialis, I never personally spoke to her. However, she was involved with William Christopher Ford's show 52 Masters. So it's funny because when I got on the show, your name came up. And it was so weird that somebody from California, knew about you. And William's like, no, he goes, I just interviewed Gracialis and she did a thing and she spoke about this New Jersey fighter. She mentioned you. I'm like, I know Cookie, of course, So, you still made of that 1981 fight. She still talks about that. I think she said you were one of the toughest fights she's had, which is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you ended up winning the title though, correct?
Well, no, that was she beat me by points. I went in there with a deviated septum from training. Training is the toughest thing in anything, point fighting, you name it. Yeah. And I went in there with a deviated septum. We fought 5 rounds. The first 2 rounds I won, because I was like, pa, 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 pa. For every punch she threw, I threw 10. That was my plan, and it was working until I was trying to keep her, away from my nose. Look, if you just went boot to my nose, that's how delicate it was. It would bleed, and of course. Wow. So what happened? She caught me with a nice jab, and then boom, the blood started coming out, and therefore it slows down. It slows down the pace. You're swallowing. You have to pace yourself and endure the rounds. We fought 5 rounds, so she beat me on point the last 3 rounds because she caught me like at the end of the second round. But I remember she told me that I saw her at a seminar. My God, maybe 20 years ago. I haven't seen her in 13 years, and I saw her again. And she said, they always ask me in magazine, who's your toughest person? And I said, Cookie Melendez. She said, I hit her, and she was still there, basically.
Yeah.
No. My mind was like, I ain't going down. That was, but that's what happened. So she beat me on points. Never been knocked out, thank God. My last fight in 92, Timex helped me was to spar with that, and because Timex helped me in sparring to prep me up for that fight. 1991 at the Taj Mahal. It was the Taj Mahal.
Wow.
But so Chicago with Cheryl Wheeler, it was called a draw.
Oh wow.
They call it a draw. And I went to Canada. I've been to Canada to compete also against the Canadian champion. I fought at the Garden against the French champion and beat her. Wow. Caught her with a spinning back fist to the throat. It was so fast. The referee didn't know. All he saw her coughing. And I said to the referee, John, he was telling her, because she spoke only English, no French. I mean, French, no English. He was saying, fight. And I said, John, she caught my back fist and her throat. Check her out. And he said, oh, okay. That's how fast it was. So I beat her, the French champion, at the Garden.
Wow. God bless. That's awesome. Such an amazing story. Wow. So now let's talk, because I know some people, what you can share is, at that time, didn't you also start getting involved, or you had something with a movie or had an opportunity or something, that try to get into films when you were younger?
I've been approached several times regarding film. I went to China. I got to go to China. Oh my God, maybe 30 years ago, 34 years ago, give and take.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Professor Stewart, may he rest in peace. He calls me up. He said, Cook. I said, yes, Professor. He was my mentor. That guy, he was like my first mentor. I got to tell you, when I was a green belt, this is how he became my mentor. When I was a green belt and I was competing, I was doing forms. And I thought, you always think you're badass. You always think everybody feels at one point, come on, people, dig into your mind. At one point you felt like you did your best, and how can someone give you a 6?
Yeah.
Right. He gave me a 6.
Oh, wow.
And with all due respect, I approached him and I said, sir, why did you give me a 6? He said, because I know you can do better. I've been watching you.
Oh my God.
That's it. and I worked, I tried better. I did better on my craft. I practiced. And ever since he became my mentor. So rolling years later, that's why you never know who's watching, And I tell this to my students, my young students, watch your attitude, respect. That's what martial arts teaches you, self-control, all that good stuff that we know. And so moving forward, he calls me up and says, Cook, do you want to be in a movie? And I was like in my 30s, maybe.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, why not? He said, well, you're going to go to China, go to Chinatown. The Fujia Pai people in Chinatown, when they were very popular down there. And he says, go down there, bring your resume. Funny story. Bring your resume and tell them I sent you. Okay. So, but the script called for 4 African-American women. 4. I was the 4th one, but my tan disappeared. I was light skinned compared, right? So I called one of my friends, Linda Ramsey, and I said, you want to go to China? Yeah, we'll be in the movie. Yeah. So we met. We went down to Chinatown. We go to the school. I presented my resume in an envelope.
Right.
And I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I'm the only light skinned one, right? And the Sifu walks around and looks at everyone, and he's looking at everyone but me. And I'm like, and I already spoke to my boss. I said to my boss, Mike, I want to go to China. You don't understand. He's like, Cook, go ahead. So fast forwarding, he didn't pay me any mind. So I knew my buddy was going to China. I said, man, buddy, you going there? Tell me all about it when you come back. I'm excited for you. At least when somebody I know is going. Because the Sifu said, I said to the Sifu, sir, I can go darken my skin up. Put some makeup on me. Come on, we all watch movies, right? Put my skin up. He says to me, there'll be another opportunity. That was that. I didn't force it anymore. So we're leaving. The next thing I hear the Sifu saying, Master Melendez, Master Cookie Melendez. I'm like, oh, shoot, he's calling me.
Right.
I go upstairs. He said, it's an honor to meet you. Apparently, they opened up the resume, realized, the envelope, look at the resume, realized who I was. But he came running back and called me back.
Wow.
So what did they do? I played part of the script. They darkened my body with shoe polish, I found out. This is 30-some years ago, shoe polish.
Wow.
But it's okay. I was African-American.
Wow.
And then I didn't have to audition. He says, Cookie Melendez, you don't have to audition. I didn't have to audition. I played my part. I was likable because the directors, you have to be likable. First of all, we don't speak the language, right? So we went, and then I was told that we're going to meet a very famous actress, Michelle Yeoh.
Wow. Okay.
Michelle Yeoh. And they said, and I didn't know who that was. I said, oh, cool. So we go there, and I take pictures of these little boys that do the Coca-Cola commercials in China. They're very well known for the Coca-Cola commercial. They're very famous little boys, and they do their kung fu. Amazing martial artists, these 2 boys. Of course, when you speak the language, Tak was the one that was the translator. And but a smile's universal. When you smile with people, they smile back, and then we connected. It was a great experience. So we played the bad guys, Michelle Yeoh, and she was the boss, and we played the bad guy. It's on YouTube. It's called Shaolin Popeye, I think part 3, The Messy Temple. It's a series, and this is one of them. If anybody's interested, send me a text, and I'll send you the link. And we have a fighting part. Okay, so
wow.
Yeah. So we're taking a group photo, and Michelle Yeoh comes, and she stands right next to me, and I'm like, okay. She found out about me from the States that I was a kickboxer, martial artist. I was good at my craft, And I said, and so we took photos, and I have a photo. I should have sent it to you, but so from there on, she spoke English. I wanted to know who is she, and I found out her and how she educated herself in the martial arts. We did our own stunt work and everything. It was crazy stunt work. I was put on the cable. When you go to China, when as kids, we used to wonder how they flying in the air.
Right.
I did that.
Wow.
Cable. The cable. They put the little, shorts on me, and I'm like, so this is how this is done. Oh, okay. So I was up in the air, mind you, I had just had lunch and they had me spinning because I was kicked by one of the little kids, bah, 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 and I'm flying. And I was like, you guys better put me down because I'm gonna I just ate lunch. You didn't tell me, you didn't prepare me for this. But it was so fun, great experience, you know.
Wow.
And it's amazing that today there's so much talent like yourself with film. And people are coming up from all over, you know, and I'm glad I'm still around to see this. And I'm excited for everyone who's in the film industry and also as a martial artist. You know, I tell people, go for it, you know, go for it. Don't hold back.
Let's talk about, and I know this is really close to your heart, is your I'm Bad, the Beautiful, Armed, and Dangerous, your international movement. I know that this has really been consuming your focus and your direction, what you're doing. You're building it. How did this come about? How did that I'm Bad movement come about?
Wow. Approximately 20 years ago, excuse me. You know how you just brainstorm and come out with ideas. I thought I was, doodling, and I said a circle. I love the yin yang. Always do everything with the yin yang when it comes to my logo. So I said, I play with this, boom, boom, boom. And initially I had the gloves because I'm a kickboxer, and then initially I had a pair of shoes, like stiletto shoes, in place before the butterfly.
Okay.
I'm like, a shoe is a weapon too. In those days, I used to talk about you hit someone on the shoe with the heel, you'll get good results.
Right. But
then I changed it. The message wasn't. It was a fun message. But people would stop me. I would wearing. I get a T-shirt. People, oh, I like that. So I'm like, okay, there's something happening. And I always say this is how something happening from nothing to something, and people it draws attention. So then I changed the shoe because not every woman. I don't wear stiletto shoes. I don't wear stiletto shoe. The butterfly, because my message is for women who are survivors of domestic violence, cancer survivors. I've met throughout my career. This logo was done like 25 years ago, give and take.
Right.
With that logo alone, it resonates to women depending on the background. I'm a cancer survivor. I love your message. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I love your message. Right. I'm bad, beautiful, armed, and dangerous.
Love it.
And the I am stands for the international movement. So I like to play with acronyms, and this is the birth of that.
Wow. So what's your goal? Do you have kind of like a short-term like goal as far as, hey, I want to be here with my I'm Bad movement in the next 5 years? And then what's your ultimate goal? Do you have one, for what you're trying to do?
Like the way this logo started, things keep hitting my head. I would like it to be worldwide. My thing is to spread this worldwide, worldwide. Women need this kind of message. It resonates women here. It's going to resonate to women all across the planet. Whether it's, again, cancer survivor, if it's something that gives you hope, dear to your heart for whatever your reasoning is, go for it. People say, I like that. They wear it and they read it, and it reminds them who they want to be and who they're not. Right. So from that, one day I told myself I want to do a tournament. I worried around the tournaments. I'm bad, and people would purchase it, and I was, they would order it, and I said, okay, this is going somewhere. Right. And that's how things start, right?
Absolutely.
And then one day I woke up and said, I'm not competing anymore. I miss it. I coach people, whether they're kickboxing or they want to do karate or whatever. I take them as far as they want to go. I got guys from other schools that want to dream of being in the UFC. But there's schools that are traditional. They don't train in kickboxing. Right. So they come to me, and it's easy because they're already martial artists. They have the lion heart already, and they're coachable for the most part. And then I said, listen, I'll take you as far as you want to go. So the instructors trust me. I'm not going to steal their students. They come to me and I train them. And then I get them to my guys who has the octagon, the small local boxing events.
Yep.
I said, this is where you get to experience. You grow. And so that's what I've been doing behind the scenes as well. Then one day I said, I want to do a tournament. I want to do an all-female tournament so they don't go through what I went through when I was coming up, where I used to be. Listen, I was a green belt and I was fighting a black belt because women were thrown together back in the 70s in one ring. I got kicked in the eye by a black belt and a black guy. It's always that side. I wonder why. That's my God, right? But you know, I was like, wow, I was crying like a baby. I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
In the ring. And but you know, I said, but I like the fighting. That did not want me not to go back. So moving on, I said, you know, I woke up like I'm not competing anymore. You know, I'm training. I'm competing to my kids or my clients. You know, that's it. I give them the love. You do what you want with it, with my guidance. I said, I want to do a tournament. I want to do something, continue contributing to the women martial and girls martial arts community. And lo and behold, I spoke with Alan Goldberg, and Sundays there was nothing happening at the Tropicana.
Right.
Yeah. For years, right?
Yep.
I stayed one Sunday, or what? It's going to be 4 years now. I stayed and I said, and I approached Sifu Allen, who was always a super supportive of my ideas.
Great guy. Yeah, great guy.
And I said, Sifu, I'd like to do something really nice here. He says, cook whenever you're ready. And boom, I started the tournament, you know, and everything starts small, but I'm expecting a lot of people then from before, they still support it. And the weekend was moved over. So it threw off maybe 1 or 2 people, you know, who always support it. It's understandable. But the most people are coming, and more other people.
Good for you.
I get people from Trinidad and Tobago.
That's awesome. Right? Yep.
They're coming from Virginia.
Wow.
We have a Pinchak Salat group that was there last year. They're coming back. Okay. Great, beautiful group. And a lot of the girls ask me, who are they? And this is the thing. When I spoke with Guru Robinson, you know, he called me up and said, this is what we do. I want the girls to be an open tournament. And he came here, his group last year. It wowed everyone. Like, wow, who are these people?
Yeah.
You know, they're going to do a demonstration.
Good.
You know, as one of the openings. And they did well. And so that's the thing. Bring women from all disciplines of martial arts, Indonesian, you know, Chinese arts, Korean, Japanese. And that's what we did this year. We broke the divisions for forms according to your discipline.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because we have some girls that do Japanese and Korean, all the good stuff. And they so well. They've been winning all first places, you know. So that kind of defeats the purpose. Right. Because girls will go hide again. Oh, I'm not going back, man. I didn't play. So whatever. Listen, you can only do ring number 1 is Japanese, traditional forms, and your weapons. You can do that. Ring number 2 is Korean stylist, weapons and forms. Ring number 3 is the Chinese soft arts, Indonesian, or all the soft arts, Chinese, Okinawa, Indonesian. Ring number 4 is open.
Nice.
Then when it comes to the grand champion, you get to meet up for sure. Different age group, different rank groups, of course, and keeping it as fair as possible. And last year was great, and this year's going to be greater and better.
Awesome. And you have some awesome medals that you give out for it, and then also
we have trophies and medals. We have 24 grand championships, so there's no excuse. We have grand champion for fitness, for the fitness division. We have for forms. We have for weapons. We have for fighting, and self-defense. Boom. You know.
Beautiful. And what's the date? What's the date for everybody that doesn't know? What's the date of the event?
It's February. It's on Sunday, February 2nd, 2025. It's like in 2 weeks.
At
the Tropicana, Atlantic City. Not Las Vegas. People ask me. It's in your own backyard at the Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Registration is still open, right? They can register for it.
Registration is still open. The pre-registration, the discount it's already expired. It's $100 for 1 or 5 events. You cannot do 2 forms division. If you do Japanese, you can do let's say a traditional Japanese or traditional Korean or Chinese. If you want to go to weapons, you can stick with that same discipline or go to open weapons. So you have that option, but you must stick to one traditional art, 1 out of the 4. Okay. And you can mix it up like that, but you can't go to all of them.
So again, you're offering forms, fighting, weapons. What else?
Self-defense, point fighting, and the fitness challenge.
Fitness challenge. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, you're really giving a lot of opportunities to female martial arts athletes to participate. And I think that's a great thing, because I feel like it is, there is more of a male population that obviously does it. And to give females, I think that empowerment of their own event where they get to showcase, I think is awesome. And I think that's a great thing.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, while I'm here, I'm trying to do my part. I feel this is my calling, and the best thing I have, it's work. I'm not afraid of work. I'm not intimidated by hard work, because you know what? I'm having a great time, and the people I get these little girls when I go to the promoter tournaments. You see me bouncing around, chasing the tournaments, helping to judge, and promoting. And the girls that have approached me that have been there before, just the fact, one little girl say, "Hi, ma'am, how are you? I have that little glove you gave me, that little boxing glove. It's still in my backpack." That's priceless. They remember you. And they say, "I'm going to be at your next tournament." And that's what keeps me going. I'm not going to be here forever. And whoever takes over this event, in the future, it's only good. I believe, I envision it only getting better. We're not going to be, we're not here forever. But the mind is, but the thought is, the concept is.
Correct. But you're making such an impact, and I think it's important. But what's crazy is you're not only just making an impact for women, you're also making an impact for your culture, for the Latino community. And you're not being biased just saying, "Oh, it's only for Latinos." It's everybody, right? All shades, all sizes, all colors. And that's what I think is the most beautiful thing about it, because, for years, martial arts has obviously been, segregated from men versus women to different races. And I think this is such a great thing. And, this is what martial arts needs to get better, because I feel like politics, it's always in there. We've had these conversations about politics and people supporting one another. And it's very unfortunate, right? Because, you're doing a great thing, or someone else is doing a great thing, but yet some people still won't support, right? They won't support because of whatever reason. They don't like you, or because, they're jealous, right? Or they don't want you to be successful. And it's terrible. It's just a terrible, terrible thing. How do you, being as seasoned as you are, because Cookie, you got a lot of history, right? A lot of people, you've been around a long time. How do you deal with that? How do you, as a promoter, as a person trying to push this narrative, right, this direction, how do you deal with those negative things?
Well, it's unfortunate. You're going to have those types of people no matter what. Each generation they've been here before, and they're going to be here afterwards. I just, I know people like that who are negative, and I don't take it personal. Things are happening in their lives. Sometimes I take my time and I talk to them, and if they open up even more so, some of them ask me, you're so mellow, how do you do it? And I said, listen, I'm human too. I bleed like you do. I have my moments. You have to, manage your stress levels. There's certain things in life, and we go off the martial arts thing. Sometimes the family, you don't know. So don't take it personal. Something happening in their personal lives that they want to share. So they bring that with them. Because that's all they know. Jealousy, because it's been there. So no.
Yes.
So when I speak with them, and I say, focus on the martial arts. Why did you get into it? Remember why did you get into it? It's a peaceful moment. I try to bring it back to that. Yeah. Why did you do this? Right. And I said, look, I've had situations. I had bad energy around me. Remove yourself. So as a human being, I told them as a human being, just remove yourself from that. You'll be in a better place. But some people are used to that. They thrive on that kind of negative stuff. And there's politics in martial arts, again, in people's personal lives, in their workplace, wherever it is. So people have to be identified with that and say, let me just remove myself from this for a little bit and find good vibes. And but I gotta say, on top of that, I'm beginning to meet. I met more people since I've been doing the tournaments.
Right.
Especially, let's talk with our fellow brothers who are school owners, right? And a lot of them used to come up and I said, how do I get more females in my school? How is that? Can you come and do a seminar? And I said, you know what? They're only going to remember me for that one seminar, your females. You know, you can hype it up, whatever way, which way. But what you need to do, focus. Most of the guys, I got to say, focus on the boys. It's the boys' club. Yeah. And it's not their fault. That's how they were brought up. I get it. I said, if you focus on one girl and move, focus on, there's always one girl that has a capability of moving higher up as like some of your boys or the men. and focus on that. Make her your role model. Make sure you pay attention to her, right? Like you do with the guys, and she's going to be your number one female. And then you know what? The other females will roll in on the other, and they're like, wow, okay, all right, I didn't think about that. Secondly, I met a lot of male instructors who have been telling me 50% of my students are female.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's
I was
awesome.
excited. I'm like, yes, this is our time. This is our time to shine. This is their time to shine. And so they get excited. They approach me. Oh, wow, no female tournament. And I'm like, so, I guide them and send the information, and then they come, and the feedback is always positive. It's been so positive so far. Good. And then we have female martial arts school owners that tell me, oh my God, I love this concept. Wow. And so, it's been pretty much, people have been aware of it now more and more and more. I go to all the tournaments, like I said, and I talk to everybody and network, and I'm like a little social butterfly myself, I'm sorry. But I got to step back, a side note, because I didn't finish telling you what the butterfly stands for. Okay. We know what the gloves stand for. We're all martial artists, right?
Right.
But the butterfly is a very unique message. The butterfly is like, a lot of women, and then you have men that feel the same way, but a lot of women like, oh man, I'm too ugly. I'm not smart enough. I'll never amount to anything, blah, blah, blah. But look at the butterfly before it becomes this beautiful butterfly. It's a larvae, which is not appealing.
Right.
And it turns to, okay, the larvae, then a worm, and then, this is how we feel about that, right? Then it turns into a caterpillar. Okay. But wait, there's more. Then the next thing you know is this beautiful, colorful butterfly.
Right.
So the message is what's the word? Morphic? The change.
Yeah.
That's the message. Wow. You look what this butterfly goes through, right? And it's beautiful. And so that's the message. And when I explain that, oh wow, that makes sense. Some people get it. Right. I don't have to say anything. They come up to me, oh, I like that butterfly. Let me get that hoodie. Let me get that t-shirt. And they tell me, I still got it. I still wear it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I had to go back to that message.
Of course. So Cookie, as you're going along this journey, what do you think has been, one of your biggest difficulties or adversaries kind of going through this process of what you're trying to do and to reach your vision, to make your vision, whether you want it nationally, internationally, what do you feel has been your biggest challenge?
So far it's just building the brand, building the product. The tournament was allowing people to come in from all over, not just locally. I mean, when you have a team coming from Trinidad and Tobago, again, that's a statement in itself.
Absolutely.
In fact, the professor invited me to Tobago and said, you need to do this down there. That's my mission. You see, I didn't ask, he offered.
Correct.
And that's my vision. And I see, that it's happening. People are coming up to me, you need to do this. So I want to travel with this again. Look, I might be able to go. Some people can't come all the way to the Tropicana, they can't come all the way. So my thing is, if I speak to if there's anybody out there that's out in the South or way down, too far to come up, or Canada, we can do something like this. It can start small, like a Shia Invitational, and bring it there. I want to bring the Unbad organization wherever it's needed. Awesome. And that's it. Then one day maybe they'll be able to come to one huge event,
Right. Wow. So for the course of this year, for 2025, you have your Unbad tournament in Atlantic City at the Tropicana on February 2nd. Do you have any events after that throughout the year?
I'm working on some things. I don't want to say too much, but as they come along and it's time to expose a lot of these things, I love projects. I like, all right, this is done next. I'll share that with everyone.
Okay.
But right now, this is my focus right now, to get this out of the way. And looking forward to I'll be at the banquet also, at the dinner. And so so there's a lot of things coming up, a lot of nuggets that are in the works. But I'll share with that as I get super excited.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So Cookie, as we kind of bring this session to a close, what advice can you give to a young woman that she wants to get involved in martial arts in 2025, but she just doesn't know what to do? What advice can you give to her?
Well, listen, wherever you live, maybe I can refer someone. You can hit me up on Facebook, DM me, text me. My number is public, 917-353-5654. And I can refer you to someone because, after years and years, we get to know people from different states throughout the country. And we can always, or even Canada, we can refer you to someone. All right. If I don't know someone, I know someone that knows someone. That's how it is. Okay. And just start. Don't say you're too old. Don't say you're not in shape. You don't need to go to the gym, because why waste that time at a gym? And listen, I'm a certified personal trainer too, and fitness instructor. And I brought that into the martial arts, but you don't have to go to the gym. And a lot of people feel like they have to. Just get a nice go to a nice school that will welcome you, and you feel comfortable. Take a trial class, and again, if it's referred to you by someone, then chances are you have a better chance of staying there. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Cookie, I'll leave you with this. So I ask this for all of my guests as they come on, is what do you want to leave as your legacy? So, as you mentioned, we're not around for all the time and things happen, and, this is your current time now. What do you feel that you want your legacy to be, and what do you want people to remember when they think of Elba Cookie Melendez? What do you want them to remember?
Oh my goodness. The same way we remember people that before us, there's people that stay in our heads that were mentors. And I want this chapter, I want people to remember that this is doable. Women can be out there and do this. Okay. It's no longer the boys club. It's the Boys and Girls Club.
There you go.
and women should not hold themselves back. The fathers who have only daughters, and they have sons too. But there's a lot of parents that only have single child and their daughters. They're so focused on that young lady, growing up. You got dads who have both sons and daughters. Focus on them, encourage them. I just want this event to reach many people who didn't think that this was possible. Because those who know it's possible, I don't have to worry about them. They know. They know it's possible. They just got to do it, right? Those who don't know, who are like, oh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. So I'm trying to, through social media, expose what's going on. This is a place for you. Come on and have some fun. Meet some other warrior sisters. And this is your time to shine. I keep saying that, Right. And I thank all the martial artists out there, the school owners, male and female, who support the women and girls in our martial arts community, because they need you. We need you. Okay, we can't do it alone, but as a village of martial artists, we can do wonders.
Wow. Well, thank you. And I mean, everybody that got to tune in today, and I'm sure the people that are going to watch us afterwards, you're establishing a great thing. I think it's a great opportunity and a great movement that you're doing for women in the martial arts. So our next, your next event, that February 2nd, everybody who's watching, please, if you can, come out and support Cookie's event, February 2nd at the Tropicana. Cookie, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so glad that you had the time, came out. I mean, time, I think, went quick. We already did 45 minutes, which is crazy. Yeah, well, Spanish people, we can just talk. So we just talk. But no, I appreciate you joining me today. For my viewers, Cookie's always been a great supporter of me as well, and has really kind of nurtured and kind of been a voice for me through the processes that I've been going through, the last couple of years. So I want to thank you for taking the time out to come onto the show today.
Thank you. Well, I also got to say this. I want to thank all the promoters before me who have Sue Diaz, Hunchy Rick Diaz, yourself, Master Ivan Mendez, Keith McKinley, Kenneth. You guys have been awesome in supporting me because your promoters been there before me and have given me so great advice, and thank you for allowing me to pick your brains. And I'm a quick learner. And again, and that's another thing I meant to say. A lot of schools owners, what this tournament does, it increases the enrollment of females.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I had to throw that in. All these people, I'm going to bring my girls. I want them to be exposed to this. This is what I want to hear. And this is in turn is going to benefit them. The girl, oh, look what I want. I want an all-female tournament? Since when? So then they bring the girlfriends, all the friends who were hesitant to join the school.
Right. Right.
And that's it. With that, on that note, I had to share that with you again. Thank you guys. And thank you for having me. Guys, thank you for listening and watching. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, February 2nd.
That's right. Thank you for all the viewers today. We had a great martial arts experience show. This is episode 2 of season 4. So blessed to bring you now our 4th season of this, and joined by the amazing Elba Cookie Melendez today. So everybody, I hope you have a great afternoon, and make sure you stay tuned to what we have coming up, guys. Everybody have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.